Look, Killers of the Flower Moon, outside of Barbenheimer, is probably the most anticipated film of 2023. It's Martin Scorsese's latest film, and it's based off of the book of the same title by David Gran, and it follows real events that occurred to the Osage people after oil was discovered on their land, essentially leading to murders of the Osage people in order to secure the wealth from this oil. The film stars Scorsese's longtime collaborators Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro playing Ernest Burkhart and Ernest's uncle, but the breakout performance, which we'll get to later, is really that of newcomer Lily Gladstone. This film has been in development for quite a long time, since 2016, and it's changed dramatically over the years. In fact, it's even changed production studios, and the script has gone through a significant overhaul. A large part of this change to the script came from Leonardo DiCaprio, who also serves as executive producer, who challenged Scorsese, one of few people in the world who can do so. He challenged Scorsese to find the heart of the film. And ultimately what happened was the script changed from a more classic crime, courtroom procedural drama to a film that centers the Osage people. And in my personal opinion, I think that this is really what made the film. From the opening shot, we are invited in to ceremony, which really is a privilege and an honor as the audience. We are able to observe the Osage people as they partake in various traditions from birth to death and everything in between. Scorsese has been open about this, changing the script after not just Leo's advice, but after consulting with hundreds of different members of the Osage community. And actually, almost all of the Osage actors in this film are actually part of the Osage Nation. And in a sense, this is a risk, as a lot of these scenes don't add to the quote-unquote narrative in a traditional sense of pushing the plot forward, but it brings so much humanity and depth to the Osage people, which makes the impact of the tragedies that occur throughout the runtime that much more impactful. The film is also aided by some pretty brilliant dialogue, most of it, of course, written in the script by Scorsese, but there's also quite a bit of improv here. De Niro and Scorsese himself have both spoken out about Leonardo DiCaprio's consistent, constant improv, and a lot of Leo's improv made it into the final cut, including the first conversation between Ernest and Molly, his wife, in the film. Perhaps the most powerful bit of improv, you could say, or at least something that wasn't in the original script, was when we are sitting in circle with the Osage people. Essentially what happened was Scorsese just overheard one of the Osage leaders talking about the impact of the white man, and he came in to where they were sitting on set, and they asked if he could do that again, but in front of a camera. And what we're given here is a true, authentic view of the Osage people sitting in circle, and again, we're invited in. Of course, the scripted dialogue is also very, very strong, and what is perhaps most impressive is the continuity and connections from beginning to end in this script. There's pieces of dialogue that might not have tremendous impact on its own early in the film, but then when similar pieces come up later, you realize the intent perhaps 2 hours earlier in the film. There are many examples, and I won't go into spoilers, but one that really stuck out to me was the use of the word sickly, coming up multiple times in different contexts, giving it quite a bit of a different meaning. And look, this is a long film. Its runtime is almost 3.5 hours, which might be too much for some people. For me personally, I found that the pacing was effective, kind of a slow burn to begin, but then heightening when it needed to. The fellow who was sitting in front of me in the theater and fell asleep for a good 2 hours of the film might disagree, so it's something to bear in mind. Of course, Killers of the Flower Moon is nothing without its performances. We know how amazing Leonardo DiCaprio is as an actor, and this film is no exception. He plays a somewhat dim-witted and easily manipulated character, and DiCaprio has this tremendous ability of becoming the character. We all know who Leo is. We all know who Leo is outside of the big screen, but he has this innate ability to have the audience believe that he is this character, and his performance as Ernest Burkhart is certainly tremendous. Robert De Niro also gives one of his best performances in recent memory. De Niro, with this character, is able to portray a man of power, a man of subtle manipulation, and every scene that he is in is engrossing and engaging. Despite these two powerhouse performances, though, the standout star of this film really is Lily Gladstone. She is almost without doubt the breakout performer of 2023, and while her screen time is that of a supporting actor, her performance is a leading role. She is the heart, she is the backbone of this film, and this film would not be anything without her. And actually, this is being represented in the Academy Awards. While, of course, we don't have a list of official nominees yet, she is running for lead actress and not supporting actress, as most people suspected. While this might, on the surface, seem like an odd choice, it makes sense to me. Yes, she was on screen less than Leonardo, her male counterpart, but she was this film. She had the ability to say so much, say everything that she needed to just with her eyes. Her performance, while for the most part subtle, was captivating, it was emotional, and out of any character in this film, she's ultimately the one with the most depth and the one that you leave the theater rooting for. And honestly, I am willing to say that she would be my pick right now for Best Actress, again, despite not being given the screen time of most Best Actress candidates. Beyond the performances, the cinematography here is beautiful, which is to be expected from Rodrigo Prieto. He just came off being the director of photography for Barbie, so a little bit different tonally here, but clearly this is a person who is at the top of their game. And he opted to use very wide anamorphic lenses to emphasize the landscape, the land, nature, which of course is key to the Osage people, and he did so beautifully. What he also managed to do was aptly capture the juxtaposition between this beauty and the violence that was occurring, highlighting these shadows and contrasting them against the light. Of course, this review would not be complete without talking about Robbie Robertson. So Robbie Robertson of the band passed away this August, and this was his final known project. A longtime collaborator of Scorsese, his guitar strings are haunting in this film. He has crafted a score that slowly creeps up on you and surrounds you without you being aware, similar to the way that the evil in this film creeps up on the Osage people. There's a lot in this film that will keep you engaged. The third act turns into kind of what the original script was, a little bit more of a classic crime courtroom procedural drama, which wasn't actually my favorite part of the film, but might be the favorite for many others. And there's a few surprise appearances from some amazing actors, which is worth tuning into that final act just for those performances. Look, in the end, I give Killers of the Flower Moon a solid 4 out of 5 stars. The main reason to watch this film, I would say, the performances, absolutely brilliant. Main reason to avoid this film, really the only thing that strikes me is the 3.5-hour runtime. So I hope that you watch it preferably in theaters, but if not, on your couch when it's released digitally. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you really want to, and stay tuned for occasionally insightful film reviews. Cheers.